I'm Dana Denha, and you're watching FYI. The Ann Arbor Farmers Market is a place to find fresh local food of all kinds. And once a month throughout the season, they are welcoming a variety of cuisines on four wheels.
It's the food truck rally that happens here Wednesday every month. A ton of food trucks come out. We're coming down from Ferndale, but a lot from all over the place.
Our food is all locally sourced, local farms. 80% of our food is organic, the spices, the oils, and we get the best of meat that is available. And we want to feed people good food.
We're a sandwich truck, and we really are all about having inclusivity. So like, if you're a hero or you're a villain, you can come here. If you have a gluten intolerance, if you have dietary concerns, we try to accommodate those things.
We're sold out of almost everything, so I guess it was good.
Come for the good food, the good fun, and the good vibes.
And Arbor is like a melting pot of cultures and communities. And you come here and, to the food truck rally, and then all kinds of people, all kinds of cuisines, they become like, part of the culture here.
The next food truck rally will be at the Ann Arbor Farmers Market on Wednesday, September 21st at 5 p.m. Stay tuned, and we'll be back with more in exactly 30 seconds. It's officially kitten season, and the Humane Society of Huron Valley is the premier place in Washtenaw County to rescue an animal in need of a forever home. I can personally attest to the quality of life these cats from this organization can bring to your heart. Watch.
The Tiny Lions Cat Cafe is a place to meet and greet some feline friends.
It's really a place you can come in, do your homework, you can come and just hang out with friends, you can drink coffee, and you hang out with cats. It's also an adoption center. So all the cats that come here are up for adoption.
It's a really cool space to be able to come and hang out and see these cats that are up for adoption and be able to interact with them in a way that it's really a lot harder to do just at the Humane Society.
You can even rub paws with the best of them, as the cafe hosts events like movie and game nights.
We're just hanging out with the cats and playing board games with them.
If you love cats and if you love to play board games, and if you love both of them, then this is the right place for you to come.
You really see cats in more a natural habitat, like at a home, and really get to see their personality. And you get to see cats' personalities where you probably wouldn't see naturally in more of a cage setting. And you really get to bond with the cat. I love it here, it's amazing.
For more info on adopting and cat visitation, visit tinylions.org. The Natural Area Preservation, or NAP, is dedicated to keeping our area parks thriving with the help of volunteers. Find out ways to be a nature steward in this month's City Roundup in 60.
Hi, I'm Tina Stevens, Volunteer and Outreach Coordinator with the City of Ann Arbor's Natural Area Preservation. Our mission is to protect and restore Ann Arbor's natural areas and to foster an environmental ethic within the community. There are many ways that you can volunteer to support the natural areas, including volunteering with our breeding bird survey program, becoming a turtle steward, or taking photos as part of our photo monitoring program. You can even volunteer to join our prescribed burn crew. Most folks volunteer by attending our public work days, which take place nearly every weekend. At these events, we do things like hand pull invasive garlic mustard, cut invasive shrubs, or collect and spread native seeds. To learn more about NAP or how to volunteer with these opportunities, visit www.nap.org. www.a2gov.org/NAP.
The state and Eisenhower corridor is known for hotels and business relations, but not necessarily its unique variety of restaurants. Many of us are aware of the 777 building and had no reason to frequent it until now. This iconic real estate is now home to 2 Ann Arbor eateries. Joining me is Andy Mignery, founder of Thrivery, and Jiho Park for Kanbu Sushi. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. It's great to be on. Thank you.
So, we're talking about 2 separate places now, but it's really going to be in the same building, which I think there was a big need for some unique restaurants in this area of town. So we'll start with you, Andy. Why don't you tell us what Thrivery is?
Yeah, absolutely. And recently we changed our name from Thrive Juicery. And as we grow outside of Ann Arbor, it's hard to trademark the word Thrive, as you can imagine, as we expand outside of Ann Arbor. And so we've really just joined the 2 together, Thrive Juicery, to the Thrivery, a place for health, a place that people go to for very healthy items that are produced with love and a great concept that is true Ann Arbor. We started this November. It'll be 4 years. We are right there on Stadium Boulevard, our main location. And we did have a location downtown for a little bit. And we have since then decided to move into the 777 corridor. And we think that's a great opportunity to service a lot of people and really bring our products and cold pressed juice and salads and grab and go overnight oats and chia seed puddings and smoothies, among other items like wraps and sandwiches and so on and so forth, to many others that may not make it over to the stadium corridor, Washtenaw Stadium corridor, where Trader Joe's is located.
So are we seeing the rebranding at both locations? And obviously the 777 building is new, so we're going by the Thrivery. Your stadium location, same thing?
Absolutely. Yep. And every store going forward will be the Thrivery, correct.
You have a unique story and that led you to opening up this business. Why don't you tell us about your story and, this concept of food being medicine?
Yeah, absolutely. And I appreciate you asking the question. So in 2017, life was moving along without a hitch, and good things were going on in life. And next thing you know, as soon as you think you got life figured out, I had a major health challenge. So I had a form of a very rare form of lung cancer in my right lower lobe of my lung. And luckily we found it. It was operable. I had surgery there at U of M Hospital. And I don't mind sharing a little bit about my past because ultimately I wanted to bring a positive through it all in the healing process. And so during post-surgery and really understanding life and trying to figure out wellness, food was a center point and that whole the whole mission, if you will. And what we decided to do was pay it forward and share that mission to so many Ann Arborites and beyond, where you serve food the right way. It's health at the center point of our roots and our business model. And even though it may be a little bit more expensive, we want to do it the right way. And I found food to be a medicine, if you will, in my recovery. And I know a lot of other people that have gone through some major trials and tribulations health-wise can say the same thing and feel the same way. And so that's really what started the business for us. And it's just so rewarding to teach people a little bit about what they're eating and the impact it has on the health and wellness and, just your mental clarity. And so I love being into the food industry now and sharing a lot of what I learned through a business.
Did your diet then change immensely after you were diagnosed with cancer? I'm wondering what it was sort of like pre the diagnosis and then obviously post. It's health related.
Absolutely. So first and foremost, for me, I knew I had to stay hydrated at all times. So my water intake was through the roof. From there, all the research at that moment in time when my life was flashing before my eyes, I spent a ton of research in green vegetables, plant-based diets for the most part. I still eat a little bit of meat, but nowhere near your typical acidic American diet. So for me, greens were through the roof, and you can get greens in a lot of different ways. However, from there, meats were a little bit lower, a lot lower actually, and then it was sugars, refined sugars. I almost went to zero, and that made a huge impact. It was very difficult for me, but I made the changes because I was forced to make the changes, and now it's been 5 years, and I've been holding true to those dietary changes, and I lost 30 pounds. I'm in the best shape of my life, and I knew I had to make some changes where I didn't want to be a roller coaster diet type person that you may go on a 30-day binge in one way or the other, and the next thing you know, you're back on that train, and may not be the best train diet wise. And so for me, I wanted to make some life changes, but something that I could change, still living where we live, that with everything that we're exposed to, how can I make changes for a lifetime? And I think we found a great balance with those changes.
I think a lot of people sometimes are hesitant about having a very green diet. I think a lot of people think greens are gross. So what do you do to make these foods taste good for maybe those people that are a little hesitant?
Yeah, so it's you really try to jam as much superfoods into whether it's a cold pressed juice, and you will slowly get our clients over to pretty much all the vegetable juice or all the vegetable smoothie without having sugar water in it, without having a ton of fruits, which have a lot of natural occurring sugars. But basically, you want to just create a bridge, and it's a healthy drug. When you start living this alkaline life, and what I mean by that is if you have a plant burned down to an ash, it's an alkaline ash versus an acidic ash. And I just encourage people to do a lot of research on their own. And if you eat more on the alkaline side of things, chances are you may feel a little bit better. I know that personally, it made a big impact for me. So getting back to your question, whether it's a smoothie where we may add a little bit more fruits here and there, but what we do not do is we don't have fillers. It's not like adult ice cream that a lot of other places serve. It is a true meal replacement when it comes to a smoothie, or a salad is a great way to get it. A good tasting salad with homemade salad dressing that we make in-house. The flavors are pronounced, and a lot of people that have been to Thrivery, I think they would second that. And good healthy food you can make taste really good. Our avocado toast is fantastic. We put a little bit of a balsamic glaze with some salt and pepper, and a really good piece of bread from Zingerman's, locally sourced. And I just can't wait for others that may not have been exposed to Thrivery, Thrive Juicery for the last 3 years, but maybe they're open to it because of the location with the 777. And I just really appreciate Oxford giving us the opportunity.
What are your hours? You're open for a portion of the day, right?
Yes. So being that it's in an office building and with security purposes and so on and so forth, it's 7 to 3, Monday through Friday. So we will be closed during the weekends.
And then a lot of times nowadays, and I'm this person for sure, I like to be able to order things in advance instead of having to maybe wait in line, even though sometimes when you go, there's no line. I just like that option of being able to order in advance. So is this possible?
For sure. As you can imagine. So we are on top of that. Please download our app through the smart device, and you can order right through our app, as you do so many other national brands, to where it allows our employees then to it actually is easier, as you can imagine, as the orders come in, and you can make those versus a long line rush all at once. So depending on when you get in, you can pick the time and so on and so forth, and make that very easy. And I encourage others outside of 777 to take advantage of it, whether you're in an office building nearby within a mile or so, or just driving up to campus up on the North State Street, where you want to just stop and go real quick. We are 10 steps into the building, and we're already having a lot of success as office comes back to life.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you're on a lunch break, you only have a limited amount of time. So that's a great way to sort of take advantage of a place without having to worry about that rush too, depending on when your lunchtime is. Jiho, why don't you tell us about what Kanbu Sushi is and what sort of sets it apart from other sushi restaurants in the area?
Yeah, for sure. So Kanbu sushi is a little bit different. We have like a lot of Korean cuisine mixed into it, and on top of just, you can go to a sushi spot regularly, get something quick. It's like a light meal sometimes, but we have light meals and meals where you can sit down with a lot of people, have like a thorough conversation. It's not just for, college students that go and get food. It's like we have home cooked meals. We also have light sushi, big sushi rolls, and then like fusion foods. So our sushi burritos, those become really popular. So it's not just, some people shy away from sushi restaurants because there's like a preconception of like, oh, like eel and fish, but we try to make sure that people don't get too afraid of that. Like eel tastes good. This food is, we pride ourselves in like the freshness of the fish that we get. It's super fresh. You're gonna love the taste. And we try to make the environment not as far away from what you go to every day to get your food from. You can get, these ingredients, like all the ingredients in the food are something that you can go to the grocery store and buy. So we try to make it as less intimidating as possible and more of like a homey feeling with the cuisine that we do.
I'm assuming you have a close relationship with the owners because you're a trusted employee from what I heard. Can you talk about why they wanted to open this restaurant in the Ann Arbor area?
Yeah, so we do have the location downtown, which has been successful. But there's also a lot of people on the other side of town that have to drive a long way to get here. And on top of that, like if we open a location in the 7-7 building, that's just like, it's already a known area. Like if you tell anybody in Ann Arbor, oh, it's something by the 7-7 building, then they already know where it is. And so the location's already pretty popular. And there's, like Andy said, there's not a lot of, food places that you can go to near that area. It's just a lot of office, a lot of people working there. So we thought it'd just be a great idea. And like, we're really thankful that you guys allowed us to come in there, because people have been coming in. They're like, oh, I'm so glad you guys are closer to my house, because you have to drive across town to go to Kanbu Sushi. So yeah, and the location, the fact that we have 2 locations almost kind of equally around Ann Arbor, that just makes it perfect for people to come buy food or takeout or anything like that.
Yeah, I think sushi is a great thing for lunch or dinner too. Like you said, it can be
Exactly.
a light meal, which could be like your lunch, or if you want to do like a sit down gathering with your friends where you're eating a little bit more food, it could be like that a little heavier of a meal for you as well.
Right.
Why don't you talk about the menu and maybe some of your favorite things to eat?
Yeah, for sure. So the menu tradition, it has a lot of traditional food as sashimi, nigiri. We got poke bowls, which have been pretty trendy in America for a little while. So we got that part down. And then we, like I said, the sushi burritos. Not a lot of people have seen those. I personally have never seen sushi burritos in my life, but they're like a basic roll, but just imagine it the size of a burrito, and they're delicious. And on top of that, like I said, I mentioned a little bit of the Korean cuisine before. But because we are, some of the owners are Korean, we incorporated like bibimbap and then sundubu, which are like probably one of the staple Korean dishes. And a lot of our like seafood ramen, it's a lot of Korean spices. So there's like kitchen food, and then there's sushi. That's like, it ranges from just regular salmon rolls with just salmon and rice. And my favorite would be the LA roll. Any listener that I'd recommend that to, I promise you guys liked it. Everyone liked it. It has shrimp tempura, spicy yellowtail. And we also got like escolar, which isn't really found in a lot of sushi restaurants, but a lot of our fish, and we take pride in it, especially our uni and stuff.
Obviously, sushi is really big with the fish. Do you have like that vegan, vegetarian options for people as well?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so on top of just a regular full dinner menu, we have a vegetarian and gluten-free. So that basically shows you what rolls, what burritos, what dishes can be requested as gluten-free. And it's a whole page for both sides. So, if your friends say, oh, let's go get sushi, and, you're vegetarian and gluten-free, you can still come, because we got a lot of options for everybody, every diet.
That's great. What are your hours at the 777 building?
So we open at 11, and then we close at 9. there's hours, and we're closed weekends. But because it is an office building, like we gotta respect, how the office works, because we're there because you guys let us, and we appreciate that. But we try to keep it as open as possible so that people who get off work a little bit later, or people that have their lunch a little earlier, can still get some food really quick and go by.
Well, for both of you, why should people that, not even just people that work in the 777 building, but people like me that live near it, should take their chances, walk in the building and try these restaurants out? Because that's obviously for more than just the people that work there.
Yeah, its location. It serves a great opportunity for many people in that area. There's some multifamily complexes, a lot of offices. There's other neighborhoods close by. People from Saline can easily drive up, and they don't necessarily have to get too far into Ann Arbor to do this. But the other part of it, Oxford, the owner of 777, they have done a phenomenal job managing this asset from an office point of view. It's an iconic office in general in Ann Arbor, as was just mentioned. And they did an amazing build out. They put a lot of money into this asset. It looks fantastic. It was first class. And during a pandemic, to make that call to, put money into an office building, that was a big risk for them. And I applaud them, because office is coming back to a certain extent, especially the best office. And 777 is that. And just gives their tenants so much more than other office buildings with other owners in Ann Arbor, quite frankly.
Yeah, I would say the exact same. They took like a big risk and trust into Kanbu and Thrivery, like to invest that much time into a business that you don't even exactly know how it will end up. But like if you look in the inside of like Kanbu, it looks beautiful. Like it looks amazing. And so on top of that, like if people are kind of like, oh, why would I have to go to this new location? With that like risk in your mind, there's also like the reward. So we already think of that, like the risk of people that might not want to come all the way out because they're kind of skeptical, but we already took that risk in mind. And so we try to provide like 110% of the foods for anybody that does come, so that word of mouth spreads really quickly. And we've already kind of increased a little bit. In the beginning, people didn't know that we opened at first because they're so used to going downtown. It first started like a speakeasy, and then people started coming because they taste the food and they're like, oh, it's the exact same as the food that I got downtown, even though it's a brand new location. And so we've already been thinking about the risks. So we've been working harder to make sure that that risk turns into reward for customers that come in.
Well, so you're definitely not losing any quality at either place, I'm sure.
At all, yeah.
Let me just interject real quick. And just for travelers and commuters, even if your destination isn't this office building, it's accessible from like going north. If you're North State Street, just past Eisenhower, take your first right, you can be inside the office building because they have guest parking right outside the north door. You can just go in there real quick, grab and go something from one of us. There's more to come potentially. And it's just easy. In the same way from Eisenhower going east and west, the access is the entry point there at the office building. They have made it very accessible again. So just want to mention that.
Yeah, like the parking compared to downtown and the 7-7 building the margin is gigantic. Like people they don't have to park on the street. You don't have to ask, oh, do I still gotta pay parking right now? Like you will never have to validate your parking if you come to 777. There's a whole parking lot that you can come and park at. So
well, that's a great aspect to add, I would say, because I sort of get anxiety sometimes when I have to park downtown. I hate parallel parking. So that is a total advantage to have real parking spots and not have to worry about where am I going to park to just do like a quick pickup for something. Before we go, why don't you guys tell people why they should come to these restaurants if they haven't already tried your other locations? Just taste whatever it might be.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll just go first here. First, it's Ann Arbor owned. My wife and I, Anna, myself, Andy and Anna Mignery, we put our heart and soul into our first location, this now being our second location. And we do it right. You can feel very, very good about what you're putting in your body. And our number one item sold would be our sweet green cold pressed juice. We also have an amazing avocado toast. You got to try our avocado toast. And then our spinach mango. Yes, I said spinach. Spinach mango smoothie is to die for. You'll love it, and just give it a try. And I got a feeling if you come a few times, you'll be coming back.
Yeah, and like for Kanbu, for people who've already had sushi before in their life, we put a lot of passion into it. Like the work and amount that the owners and I go through to just to make sure everything's perfect is insane. So if you already had sushi, you'll love Kanbu sushi. If you haven't had sushi and you're a little scared of, raw fish, that's not all we have. We got cooked fish, baked fish. We have kitchen food. Probably my favorite. I eat the shrimp festival burrito probably 3 times a week. If you like shrimp tempura, it's fried shrimp. It can't really go wrong with fried shrimp. So we got spicy crab salad in there, avocado, cucumber. It may not be as completely healthy as Thrivery, but it'll still taste as delicious. And it's so easily accessible through Menufy. We've been using Menufy for a long time, so it's all on our website. It's really easy to look at. The full menu's on there, and the menu's the same on both sides. So there's no difference in what you ordered. If you're used to ordering one thing at downtown, it's going to be at 777.
I know we love it, and we can't wait to go continue to share and boast success. That's great.
Yeah, me too.
Well, thank you both for being on the show. You guys are both making me hungry. I'm ready to eat now. So.
Me too.
And you guys, I all wish you both the best in the 777 building. I think it's going to be really lucrative for both businesses.
Thank you.
Sounds good. Have a great day, everyone.
For more on this and other programs, visit hugov.org/CTN. Visit youtube.com/CTN Ann Arbor to see all that we have to offer. And remember to like, subscribe, and ring that notification. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time to FYI.